I have no idea what happened there. Very, very jumpy intro. But good evening, everybody. Welcome to the biggest match in English football history. It is Liverpool against Manchester United. Two sides who have had very, very different seasons. But before I begin, obviously, I think everyone is probably aware of, obviously, the sad news that I've just seen, we've all just seen, really. All our thoughts go out to Cristiano Ronaldo and Georgina Rodriguez. Obviously, people don't know, Cristiano did actually post a statement on his Instagram. It is with our deepest sadness, we have to announce that our baby boy has passed away. It is the greatest pain any parents can feel. Only the birth of our baby girl gives us the strength to live this whole moment with some hope and happiness. We would like to thank the doctors and nurses for all their expert care and support. We're all devastated at this loss, and we kindly ask for privacy at this very difficult time. Our baby boy, you are our angel. We will always love you, Cristiano Ronaldo and Georgina Rodriguez. So all our thoughts go out to Cristiano Ronaldo. And to anyone who is asking on Twitter if Ronaldo is going to play, please don't be too insensitive. The last thing he has on his mind is football. So there's the first thing. But we do have an absolutely fantastic panel this evening. Wow. So from right to left, Sophie Richards from Ladies in Red. How are you, Sophie?
I'm doing very well, thanks, Doug. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this all day. We also have Mr. I have, yeah. We also have Mr. Connor Niblett from the Cop Council. How are you, Connor?
I'm doing very well, thank you, mate. Looking forward to tonight, and be an interesting talk and conversation.
It certainly will be. We also have the man who likes to cause chaos, and we call him Mr. Carnage. It is Mr. Reece Russell. How are you, Reece?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for having me on. And yep, as we said offline, because obviously I can't repeat what I said because obviously it's all about good language. Lies. If you are an insensitive twat, have a little bit of decency. But yeah, cheers for having me on, and good to see you. And I know Connor's going to nibble away. I know exactly who he's aiming for, so you may as well stick the fire and get on with it. So
yeah, from the very fantastic channel Devils United, we have the lovely Maisy. How are you, Maisy?
I'm well, thank you, Doug. How are you? And it's a pleasure to do another show with you again.
Yeah, we went on a wee run of not actually doing any shows together, and now I think we've had two in the space of a couple of hours. So it's fantastic to have you on as well. We've also got the very lovely Jack Mack LFC. How are you, Jack?
Not too bad, mate. Thank you very much for asking me to come on. Great to see a couple of new faces as well, and hopefully everyone in chat is having a lovely night.
Absolutely. I'm delighted to welcome this next guest to my channel. I think for the first time ever, or probably the second time since probably lockdown, it is Mr. Jay Motty from the brilliant Stretford Paddock. How are you, Jay?
I picked the wrong time to come on this channel, though, didn't I? United couldn't be much worse, and Liverpool are flying. Seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, it's been a while since me and you had a chat, but yeah, I don't know if I'm looking forward to this or not. I'm not, probably going to get a lot of pelters, but at least Sophie, Reece, and Maisy are anyway, so we can take the flat together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I finally managed to get him on yet again, Mr. Dave's LFC Chats. Dave, how are you, my friend?
I'm all good. Looking forward to the chat tonight. We're in a great place. United are absolutely in the dumps, but we got to keep the sensitivities tonight, guys, especially in the comments as well. I don't want to see anything in the comments to do with what we said earlier. Just block them or whatever happens. We just got to talk about football tonight, guys, and keep it nice and clean. But Carnage, Reece, you think you're Carnage? Well, you watch me, baby.
I don't need alcohol to get Carnage, put it that way. I just bring it and live it.
Let me just say hello to a few people. Helen, Andrew, Nathan's in the chat. Hello, Nathan. I did see Cardiff lost earlier, so he did say, well, hey, proper football compared to some of the dribble I watched earlier. Looking forward to this tonight, guys, and thoughts with Cristiano and Georgina. Sebastian is in also as well. Ravi is in as well. Nipun's in. Niall is in as well. You are all very, very welcome. But we shall begin. Won't we? We will begin. And, I suppose we'll start off with the positive for Manchester United fans, because it does look like Erik Ten Haag is to be new Manchester United manager. Sophie, how do you react to this news?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Ten Hag can do. Obviously, I don't think any of us are under the illusion that he's going to come in and it's going to be an instant fix. I think as fans, we've got to be patient with him. Hopefully, he'll be backed. I think that's obviously a massive thing as well. But look, I think we keep screaming a rebuild. I think Ten Hag coming in now with the players that we've got leaving in the summer as well. I think this feels more like a real rebuild than it has done. And he's up and coming. He's an up and coming, promising coach. And I think in the past, we've maybe had people who are just past their prime. So I think it's very refreshing to see that. And hopefully, yeah, we can kick on, because you said it earlier, we're down in the dumps at the minute. So it's nice to have this positive news. But I won't believe it until I see him holding that shirt. I know Fabrizio's tweeted and that, but I've been disappointed too many times. Until he's holding that shirt, and I don't see Sean Dyche standing there at Old Trafford, then I'll be happy. But no, I'm excited about it. But at the same time, I think we've got to be patient with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Reece, I know that you are a big admirer of Erik Ten Haag, so you must be delighted with this news.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. Obviously, me, yourself, Maisy and Jack literally spoke about 45 minutes ago, and we touched on it briefly. I'm in the same mindset as Sophie, excitement, but also like the one thing that really is important is time and patience. But also, I alluded to earlier on, it's structure. Any successful manager at United or even at any big club, you need the right structure above you, on the field, off the field, management level, board level. Well, we all know as United fans, even like yourselves looking as Liverpool fans, our structure is the equivalent of, what's the nicest way to say it? It's like playing dodgeball. I think it's probably a new equivalent. It's like playing dodgeball. You've got Liverpool and City are going to beat us every time, because they will have the best people ready in the front positions and behind, whereas we have, we'll just go with that. Like, put it this way, is like first hit to the face or whatever, but that's literally United structure. I'm just summing up like a dodgeball game. We need to get things right now, and it's a good manager. I agree with like Sophie in the sense of like patience. The one thing he needs to do is United have to avoid is, in terms of recruitment, he is going to have a veto. We cannot go for the commercial signings, which is typical of United. It has to be his players. It has to be organised to his system. And whoever comes in, I'm giving them the year to embed, because they're going to need time. Even if it's from within the league, I'm still going to give them that year, because it's not easy going from a different style to one that's on control of the ball. It's all about tempo, pace, passing of the ball, intense pressing. It doesn't take 5 weeks, 6 weeks to embed this. It takes time, and we need to get that right. And the structure is also important. So for me, it's all about just seeing where it goes, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Maisy, excited?
Of course, yeah. I am excited to see Ten Hag. I've been looking on my social media every single day. When's Ten Hag getting announced? But seeing Fabrizio, here we go. It's absolutely brilliant. I think Ten Hag is a right fit, and I think Manchester United have done it this time correctly. We are going to a manager who is fairly young. You look at Pep Guardiola, who come to Manchester City fairly young, and he's built that legacy there at Manchester United. At Manchester City. I'm not going to say that's going to be the same for Ten Hag, but we need to have that same approach. We need a plan, which all the other clubs who are successful in the Premier League is doing right now. Just as such as Reece has touched on, we need patience, we need time. As soon as we get a bad result, we can't instantly turn on Ten Hag, saying Ten Hag out. We can't do that.
Yeah.
He's the right backing. He's already at the moment having his backroom staff coming in as well. So it is positive signs, but I think we do need to have that clear direction and a clear plan coming into this new season ahead for us to be a successful team in the next couple of years.
We've already seen Ten Hag tweets out after you watched the Dutch Cup final yesterday.
Oh, jeez, that's just ridiculous. Jay, what will Ten Hag's expectations be next season?
I don't know. I think we've got to be realistic. You know, it pains me to say it, but we're miles away from the likes of City and Liverpool at the minute. And, you know, everyone else has touched on it. We have got to be patient, because he's not going to come in and have one transfer window and suddenly turn things around. He's got to get a lot of players out. He's got to bring a lot of players in as well. And it's going to take time. We've got some decent youngsters, a couple of which have been out on loan. Maybe they can come in and play a part further down the line. And I think that if he can come in and just sort of be honest with the fans, be honest with himself, and, you know, assess it and say, okay, it's going to take a few years. And if we can, as fans, show him that patience, then I think we'll be on the right track. But as other people have said, it doesn't matter if you're Erik Ten Haag or if you're a prime Sir Alex Ferguson. The way the structure is at Manchester United, it's just a mess. You know, I was excited when Louis van Gaal took over. I'll be honest with you, I was. I thought he's a winner. This guy's gonna, you know, he has success everywhere he goes. He's gonna have success. I was convinced, and you know, it's on video, so you can. It's probably been clipped up that Jose Mourinho would leave after 3 years, but would win a title within that time. And I was wrong because, you know, for whatever reason, successful managers come to Manchester United and it doesn't work out. And it's not just about the Glazers not spending money, because we've spent £1 billion since Sir Alex Ferguson left. It's not spending it in the right way. It's not having a plan, a strategy, a structure. You know, you guys will know better than I do, but I'm pretty sure Klopp, when he went in Liverpool, he wasn't saying, I'm going to win the title next year. I think he said it would take a few years. And the fans gave him that time, and admittedly he earned it by sort of showing progress. But he was honest about it, and then he delivered a few years down the line. And I think that hopefully that's what Ten Hag can do. But as everyone else has said, you know, as fans, we've got to be patient. And as a club, we've got to give him the right tools to be able to do what he needs to do, because he's coming from one of the best run clubs in Europe. He's been able to lose the likes of Ziyech, Van der Beek, De Jong and De Ligt and rebuild and win titles again. And let's not forget, he didn't take over an Ajax side that was winning loads of titles. He hadn't won a title since 2014 when he took over. He was given the tools that he needed. And he needs that at United. He doesn't need Joel or Adam Glazer telling him who he should sign. He doesn't need the commercial department saying, go and sign this kid because he's going to sell you a load of shirts. That's not going to work. We've done that in the past and look where it's got us. So as the fans showing patience, if the club can finally start acting like a proper football club and not the Glazers plaything, then he'll have a chance, because as other people have said, he's had a lot of success at Ajax. It does seem like he knows what he's doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at United.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Dave, we first sort of saw this from sort of Ajax when, you know, they had that fabulous run in the Champions League, and I think at the time, I think people expected the Champions League final then to be Ajax against Liverpool.
Look, I think this could potentially be a great sign for United, but its key is patience for me. Will the fans give him patience? Will they give him a year or two to build? That's the key for me, because we know he's got all the tools. He's got what's needed, but I think it's patience. And as take that say, have a little patience. So that's what I think he needs to do. I really do. I just think it is. But will they? I don't know if Jay thinks they'll give them patience. I don't know what the story is there. You know, United fans are happy at the moment, so will they give them patience?
I'll give him patience because he's bald, but I don't know if everyone else will. You know what I mean? Like,
so is Guardiola.
But he has a beard, though. He trumps you on that. He has the beard.
Yeah, it's easy to say this, but if your results are going against you, you know, it can soon go sour. You know it better than anyone. If it's like, you know, if we're watching poor result after poor result, are people going to go, oh, well, you've got to give him time? I know personally I will, but I can't speak for anyone else. And I know it is difficult because, listen, earlier in the season when things started going wrong for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I was saying he's earned the right to be given more time. But when, I said I wasn't going to mention it, but I may as well, when I'm at Old Trafford watching a 5-0 loss to the Scousers, I'm not going, oh, yeah, Ollie's the man. Do you know what I mean? It gets to a point where you go, it's difficult to keep giving him time. So we have to just remember where we're at, what he's coming into. He's coming into a side that is miles away from our rivals. We really are. We've got to be honest about that. We're about to lose some talented players as well. So that's what I've got to have in the back of my mind if the results don't go our way.
Yeah, I think as well, Jay. Sorry, Doug. I was going to say, you mentioned with Klopp, where even though he was honest with the fans to start with, he didn't get the success straight away, but you could see the progress in performances. You could see the project he was building. If we can see that with Ten Hag, we can see that he's building a side that suits his style of play. He's actually signing players that fit the system, not just players that are going to sign shirts, for example. Then you are right. I think if we can see the progress and we can see a project, we can see a plan, then fans are more willing to be on side. I think the fact that we've been kept in the blind so much and the fact that we can clearly see there's no plan, we keep trying the same thing over and over again, that's why the patience is running out. But I think with Ten Hag, I know I will, and everyone's he will be patient with him because we can see that actually this leads to more of a plan.
And I like his press conferences. Like he always specifically states, like, if it's a particular player's performance and what he expects them to do, if they've not played a great performance, even if they win 5-0, he's always at them saying that's not good enough. Like, it's not perfect, and that's something that I think we lack in. Obviously, it's been clipped on YouTube so many times, but like Jurgen Klopp's interview when he came into Liverpool, he said we're not going to win anything in like 4 years, but we will win something. I think that's something like Ten Hag is. He comes in and just says like, maybe we'll get a cup run, but we won't win anything, or maybe we just finish outside the top 4 in the first season, but you'll at least see something where we're going to progress into the second season. I'm okay with that. It's just as long as we see something. I don't expect us to go and like win the league next year. I think there will probably be some bizarre fan who thinks, "Oh, let's just go and win everything." No, but even if we got a cup run, they say like FA Cup final, but we didn't win it. Like, but we at least saw like we got there through working hard. It'd be great. But I've got the sense where I'm going to be completely patient. I'm going to whoever comes in, I'm giving them the year. We're like, let's see if you can fit in, but we'll see. I don't know, but I don't expect us to go and win the league straight away next year. It'd be bizarre.
And Jack, on Eamon's comment is absolutely spot on. Klopp finished 8th in his first season. Ten Hag's going to need time, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's how much, I think the big word everyone's alluded to, it's how much control he's got. We've seen bigger managers than Ten Hag go into United and fail. Jurgen Klopp has, every single season that went by, within the first game we played against Tottenham, you understood exactly what he wanted from his team, but there was a year on progression. But I'm pretty sure Ten Hag, if he comes in with he knows his philosophy, but it's identifying the right players. There's a lot of Manchester United players there, and tomorrow will be they'll basically be fighting for the career, because I think all of us, from a neutral point of view, have watched that United side, and they've been walking around the pitch. And quite frankly, when you're at a club, Liverpool, United, two of the biggest clubs in world football, there's kids out there that would and girls that would die to play for these two big institutions that they are. And I think tomorrow, or come what the end of this season, there'll be a lot of Man United players there that the fans will notice exactly who they want out. And most importantly, Ten Hag, he'll have a good idea, especially Ragnick, if he does go above him in terms of technical director spot, that will identify who needs to come in, who doesn't. And but yeah, I think they're in the right direction. But and obviously promoting youth. Obviously, United historically have done that in the past. The '99 great team, but I think that's one thing that Rangnick and obviously Ten Hag will do. It's not even get rid of these social media type players as well. Enough of the social media, like the statements after a game. You need like Andy Robinson coming for us, £8 million from Hull. We didn't go on.
Cost us Simicast, 11.5 million from Olympiacos.
Yeah, so it's a step in the right direction, I feel, for Manchester United, most importantly.
Yeah, definitely. And Connor, do you think this will give United players a boost tomorrow, or will it give them a bit of, we need to really perform here?
I don't know, really. Because I've seen United sometimes, one game they've been decent, then the next game they're just completely not. I think, first of all, the signing of Ten Hag, like everyone has said, is a fantastic managerial signing. It's like, but it is the problem, like everyone has said, is will he get the back in everywhere else where he wants? If he does, then the progression will be good. I think for United, if they start getting things correct, but it should boost them, if they think now he is the one now to come in and that. But like Jack said, and like all the others have said, this summer will be a huge summer for Manchester United, for the players that they bring in and the players that they let go as well. I know that Matic, Pogba, and Lingard, I know that they're the three main ones that will be leaving, I think, anyway. But it's all about that recruitment. That is the big thing. Of course, Klopp's first summer was what I think we got Sadio Mane and Gini Wijnaldum in the door for Liverpool. They need that type of summer where they can start to build the foundations up for the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. Mitchell says, hold on, Jay isn't outside Old Trafford. What's going on? He's always there. Great guest. Well, thank you, Mitchell. And I'm pretty sure Jay will definitely appreciate that. So I think Ten Hag is an absolutely fantastic managerial appointment, because, you haven't gone for a Pochettino. And I think, many people expected Pochettino to be basically going to Manchester United. But the fact that you've gone for Ten Hag, you've obviously seen what he's done in this Ajax side. If you give him time, I think it will definitely work. And I can see from Manchester United fans is that they are very, very excited. But we do have to start on a positive, but has to be in a bit down. We have to discuss your season, because I've just said it there. Disastrous. Sophie, would you agree it's been a bit of a disastrous season?
A bit. I'll tell you a lot. I'm gonna say a bit. I think it's been awful. So inconsistent from. I mean, I know we've had chats before, Doug, but not even from game to game, from one after the next. It's just been ridiculous. You never quite know what United is going to turn up. And as someone mentioned earlier, we've seen players strolling around the pitch, and that's the thing for me. We can talk about ability, but we know all these players have got ability. It's a lack of fight and desire. We've seen. I was there, Jay, as well, when 5-0 against Liverpool. As a fan, you can't see and accept that, and that was the final nail in the coffin for me. That's when I first thought, you know what, sell them all. Like, that was genuinely my emotion, because I thought, how can you not get up for a game against Liverpool? I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Doug. Other players now thinking, Ten Hag's coming in, are they going to be up for the game? This is Man United, Liverpool we're talking about. We shouldn't be needed a new manager to come in to get these players up for it. But unfortunately, that's where we are at with this squad. And I know we've mentioned it on Ladies from Red Maze about the mentality of this squad, but I think for too long now, players have been getting away with it. And I know we can blame Ollie and whatnot, and of course Ollie deserves some flack and whatnot as well, but there's been so many managers that have been failed by this group of players. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm hoping that Ten Hag coming in does give us a boost. But yeah, this season has been shocking. And I don't know about you, Jay, Reece, Maisy, but I'm numb. Like, now I'm not even surprised anymore. Like, nothing can shock me. And in a way, going into this Liverpool game, that's kind of a good feeling to have, because after that 5-0 earlier on, I'm thinking, can it be any worse than that? Surely we could just go at them tomorrow. But this is United we're talking about. United this season. Who knows? I'm not going to jinx it by saying anything else.
There's always a new low, Sophie. There's always a new low to find for you.
Don't say this, Jay.
Not rock bottom. You think this is it, can't get any worse. Somehow, they just managed to find a new low. And you're like, oh, actually, it can. Do you know what I mean?
I've just been clipped now saying that. I'm going to be used tomorrow.
Don't worry, you're not alone.
Yeah, I mean, Reece, you actually said on one of our first podcasts that you said Solskjaer wasn't lasting the season.
Damn fucking right I did, because I didn't see it happening. Like, I saw more hell coming than that. But excuse the flash in this camera, shit, like our defence. In terms of like,
he's having a rave in there, Reece.
Yeah,
for the glow sticks.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of lightsabers. I could use that as glow sticks, but that would really cause a scene. Just in general, like, obviously I was on the show with you guys literally an hour ago, and I said like as much as I like Rangnick, it's not worked out for him as a manager in terms of like the interim post. Yeah. He has judged jury executioner for some of these players, like in the summer. Like, he will be telling Ten Hag, nope, gone. He'll tell them all, and he'll go with it. I also said, very honestly, I thought the summer we had, I know Liverpool strengthened really well. City were still strong. You would expect as United fans just have a little bit of optimism with the way we ended the start of this last season. You would expect us to challenge a little bit. I would swap a gravestone for Harry Maguire. I'm not joking. I don't care.
Aidan Flint is just as bad as Harry Maguire. Sorry, Nathan, but he is just horrendous.
I would rather play a cardboard box, or anything in general, than Harry Maguire. But at the start of the season, openly and honestly, I said you with a little bit of optimism on like Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo. You would think, okay, that's the right wing situation resolved. Wrong. Centre back, prime players won everything with Real Madrid in his country. Yeah, that's not worked. And of course, Ronaldo, like the greatest goal scorer of all time, very successful. He's the only one that's actually worked. It's the only one that's worked. And but I said it last night because I was on our channel last night. I'm just emotionally checked out, but I'm going to put all my energy into this game, even though we're going to get fucking pumped. Like, I'm putting all my energy into it, but I'm emotionally checked out for every other game the rest of the season because of just how bad it's gone. And it's just a lack of fight and a lack of urgency. I don't see us getting top four, even though Arsenal are doing their greatest impersonation of bottling. The Spurs, I still think it's going to them, but they're doing the Spurs mentality. I think Conte told Kane 7 cup finals, and you know what Harry Kane's like in a cup final? He doesn't score. But for us in general, I don't see us getting top four, but we are in a fight, and I'm just at the point where I would, even if we get battered, I would play the under-23s against Liverpool. It would be painful to watch. It would be painful to watch. But at least I know they would actually put in a shift. They would actually know what it means to play for this club. Our first team don't, apart from Ronaldo and a handful. They're just unorganised, uninterested. Their mind is already on the Caribbean or wherever, some shitty place they'll go in the summer before pre-season. They just don't care, and I'm just emotionally checked out. So that's pretty much our season for me. I'm emotionally checked out.
Maisy, I have to say that there is a very big mentality problem in Manchester United. Now, I'm talking about you having leads and then almost instantly giving them away. Like Aston Villa, you were 2-0 up. You drew 2-2. Against Leeds, 2-0 up, 2-2. Okay, you went on to win the game. Manchester United against Norwich, 2-0 up, 2-2, but you managed to win the game 3-2. Would you agree that there is an actual mentality problem at Man United?
For me, it just feels like it's more that the players are not caring at the moment. They've just got no simple care in the world. You look at these games, like you look at Newcastle, that 1-1 draw. You look at these kind of games where we should be winning these games. The games where we think, right, if we get these 3 points, it'll help us towards top 4. And then it just seems like the players like, what's going on here? They don't, just as Jackers touched on, they don't even run. You look at that Norwich game, you see our wingers, they don't track back. The players don't even know where the positions are. You look at, for instance, Dalot, you look at Tellez, they're not even in their position. You see Tellez so far up the pitch, he's taking ages to come back when they're on the counter-attack. You look at Bruno Fernandes, one day he's a false 9, 70 minutes in, he's a right back, and then 15 minutes after that, he's playing on the left-hand side. It's just like these players don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to mark. It just feels like, in a way, they know what basic football is, but they don't want to do this basic football. They don't know how to pass from a 10-yard box, 10 yards. They don't know how to mark a player. They don't know how to tackle a player. It's like they don't want to do it in that kind of respect. And it's a shame. I had more expectations for this season, knowing that we look at Ole. We've had so many different types of managers. We've had successful managers, serial winner managers, and then we've got a manager here who is passionate about the club. So it's a whole different strategy compared to the Mourinhos, compared to the Van Gaals. And knowing that you look at Ole, he was improving every single season. He got us to 3rd, then he got us to 2nd, he got us to a cup final. So then you think, okay, at least, I'm not going to say we should win the league, but we need to at least challenge for the league. Have this more of a closed gap, especially knowing that we have got Varane, who is a serial winner. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo, considered, I know this is always a debate, but one of the best players in the world. You look at Jadon Sancho, who has got the highest goal, the 3rd highest goals and assists for a player in Europe. You look at them kind of factors, and you think, this Manchester United team, minus the defensive midfielder, we should be doing great. And it's just not been working out whatsoever. Ole ended up getting sacked. I think it was, how could I say, the bad time to do it, in the respect that we had Manchester City, he stayed, international break, then we got Watford, then he got sacked, and then we had Michael Carrick for games. And it just felt like Manchester United didn't have no plan of what they wanted to do in terms of the managers. Fair enough, they brought in Ralph. Ralph's style of play is completely different compared to all the different managers. So the team is so unbalanced. I understand that you're not going to get all these kind of results. You're not going to have this pressing type of team, which Ralph really wants, what he wants his team to do, when you've only got 2 players out of 11 who actually wants to press. Yeah. And you just look at it and you just think, there's faults in all different kinds of areas. Yes, the manager should be more strict. Maybe the coaches should be better. The players should have better mentality. The board should, recruitment. Why are you recruiting a minimum age of 34 years old as a striker? Play everywhere.
That's something I've never understood, is that you're going for these so-called like players who were like in their prime, and you're getting them for like old, like Cavani. You should have done that 4 or 5 seasons ago. Falcao, when he came in, I think he was in his 30s when he came as well. You have this mentality of giving players big contracts, and then they're obviously they're not doing very, very well. But Dave, I mean, I look at the Manchester United side, and I have to say, I don't know if you agree with me on this. Connor and Jack, you can comment on this, but this is the worst Manchester United side I think I can ever remember.
you're not short with that one. Look, I don't know what to say about United, to be fair. I have a lot of United friends. I don't know what to say. But look, I think, listen, I think Maisy should get a job on the board, by the way. You should get a United board. You should, with that speech you just did there a few minutes ago, you should be on the board.
A good reference.
Yeah, good reference. Going straight in. But look, worst team ever in Premier League, yes, I'd say, probably. I mean, I'm following Liverpool since the 80s. I've seen good, bad Liverpool teams. I've seen good Liverpool teams, good United teams, good. This is the worst Premier League United team I've ever seen in my life. As you say, they're rudderless. I think they've been on the beach since August. They haven't come off the bloody beach. They literally haven't come off the beach. They flip-flops on the pitch. It's just, it is. And I mean, as you've already said, this signing players for selling jerseys or signing players for corporate or sponsorship and stuff like that. I mean, you can say all he's wanted about Pogba. He has won in maybe 20 good games. He's more interested in looking at his hair on Instagram and TikTok. I call them TikTok players, those type of players. They wouldn't get a sniff at Liverpool. They just wouldn't. Maybe not even City either. It's a different mentality. I think United have to bring that mentality in. It's not all about money and selling bleeding jerseys. It's about winning and winning on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Yeah. It's about mentality. And if you have guys that are more interested in looking in the mirror and what way their hair looks and if their earrings are right, and you're in trouble. I'm sorry, you're in deep trouble. And you won't get that at Liverpool. Just look at it. And you won't get it at City. And that's why we're winning things. I think if United get it right, I mean, they've got the size of the club, you've got the fan base. They get it right. Get rid of all these TikTok boys and you have a really good shot. I think Ten Hag won't put up with any shit. I don't think he'll put up with any shit. And that's why I think he's even a better signing than Pochettino. I think Pochettino would have been a backward step. I really do. I never thought he was a fit for United. I think Ten Hag definitely could be. Certainly he's not interested in looking in the mirror, looking at his hair.
I wholeheartedly agree with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Jack, Connor, you got anything to say about United's disastrous season, as I put it?
What can you say, really? I think Dave's hit the nail on the head there. It's so nice of course, for us Liverpool fans to look at it because we've seen the United teams. Me growing up as a kid watching, the United teams with, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rooney, Berbatov, Tevez, the great teams winning, a Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. And it's the complete opposite now. It's the same, me and you spoke about Arsenal. You used to fear Arsenal and Manchester United. Now you're not scared of them at all. I'd say United completely lost that fear factor within the team, and they have to get that back. Like Dave said, Ten Hag will probably do that if he's given everything that he's going to be given. But at the minute, there's just no backbone with Manchester United. There's no one in that team that I look at and will go, right, he'll get in that Liverpool or he'll get in that City team. At the minute, there's no one that will fight for that position either at United. And at the minute, it's glorious as a Liverpool fan, but of course, United fans, they're ripping their ear out because it's terrible at the minute.
I have to ask this question. Now, question for all you United guys: one player that has to leave this summer, and a player that should replace him. So, Sophie, begin with you.
Is this being realistic? Because I would say Matic is obviously going. I would get Declan Rice in, but not for 150 mil. If it's being realistic, I'd say Cavani's going. I would bring Darwin Núñez in. That's what I'd be thinking.
Reece?
Maguire, fuck off. Yuri and Timber.
Maisy?
Oh, it's a hard one, to be honest, because it's
just one. It's hard.
Oh, it is hard because there's so many different players who I'd say needs to go. But if I was looking at Matic, I'd have Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips would be one for me. And then, I know a lot of Reece will disagree with me on this one, but if, for example, Ronaldo or Cavani leaves, I'd take Paulinho from Sporting.
Interesting, Jay.
Intriguing. Unexpected, that.
Yeah, it's being realistic, innit? I kind of agree with what Sophie said. I'd like to see Declan Rice come in, but I don't think we can afford him. And I think if we did get him, that'd be our entire transfer budget, and we'd still be a striker short. So, I mean, listen, Cavani's going to go, Matic is going to go. Maybe you're getting a Núñez as a striker. Maybe someone like the French kid, Tchouaméni. comes in midfield, someone like
Yeah,
that. If we're being a bit more realistic, I know what Maisie's saying about Phillips. He's a decent player, but I'm just a little bit wary of his appearances this season. I think he's played 13 games, and I think we did that with Varane. We ignored the fact he missed a load of games. We ignored the fact Cavani had been missing games, and we just brought him in anyway and thought, oh, they'll be all right. And they've not featured. So I know Phillips is a lot younger, but that's one thing. I think when we're buying someone, we need to look at someone who, not just their ability, but the mentality that everyone's mentioned about. Not just, are they good enough? It's not just about ability. Can they come into Manchester United with the chest out and say, I belong here? Or is the shirt going to be too heavy for him? Because we've had players that have been tearing it up. Memphis Depay tore it up. Angel Di Maria tore it up. He comes to United. It was terrible. So, you need someone who's going to be able to handle it. And also, who's got a decent injury record as well, because I don't want to be getting players where you're spending more time on the treatment table than they are on the football pitch. Because, Raphael Varane, he's one of the best defenders on the planet, but he's no good to Manchester United in a minute because he never plays.
Boye as well, to be fair.
I believe he's out tomorrow, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's one of 5.
Yeah, that's
six
not good news.
Six now. As what we alluded to at the start of the show.
I was just going to say on the Calvin Phillips thing. He is a very, very good player, but his dress sense is absolutely shocking. Did you see what he was wearing the other day? I mean, I don't know if Donald Duck is watching this, but basically, it looked like he took his legs. It was that bad. Like, it was just those shoes. Just no. So anyone out there? I
thought you were wearing them to your wedding, Doug. I thought you were wearing those shoes to your wedding.
No, I'm not wearing them. No.
Doug, let me go one further. Google Maps, like the satellites in space saw Calvin Phillips' dress sense. Like, literally, that's how bad it is. Good player, but his dress sense is god awful. I agree.
It's just terrible. Absolutely
it must be the Leeds
terrible
lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, what a panel tonight. Rich, hello. Hope you are good. Guys, please get the likes up and obviously subscribe if you're new. We have 22 of you watching, 23 now. So please do remember to hit that like button as well. We'll go away from Manchester United and we'll obviously talk about Liverpool. Jack, how important will Thiago be in this game for us tomorrow, considering he hasn't played against Manchester United this season?
Very integral. I think we've seen the Bayern Munich. We've seen now, obviously, him getting a good run of form. We're seeing the Bayern Munich, Thiago Alcantara. Going forward, next couple of years, he's so integral. You look at the likes of Modric's, the Barellas, technical gifted players. We've replaced Xabi Alonso, and it's took us about 5-6 years. We've replaced that passing ability, something that can open up a game within a turn of a pass, one single diagonal ball. Like the first goal against City, it's the simple things. Even Paul Scholes, he was probably the best at it in terms of just playing the simple ball, but especially under pressure.
Yeah,
you look at players now, especially in the Premier League, that there's not many of them that have got the bollocks really to take the ball and turn. Henderson tries too much. Like, Henderson tries to be Thiago, but he's not Thiago, he's Henderson. So, but Thiago, he's a special player, mate. Similar to Naby, we'll probably mention tonight. But Thiago, it'll be key for the semi-final and potential final as well. But the next couple of fixtures, he has elevated Liverpool's game. I think Wayne Rooney came out with a quote, I think a couple of years ago, saying about Thiago, saying that he would be a player to sign for Liverpool, and more or less said it would be game over. So Wazza was
right. Jeannie, first of all, kindly don't say that. And I was just making sense of the fact that those shoes were just hideous. So I'm just saying this. But Connor, Thiago has had to have time to sort of blend into the Liverpool team, but you've seen what he can do, and that performance against City at the weekend was very, very special.
Yeah, no, it was 100%, and yeah, last season wasn't Liverpool's best season last year. But when he's been able to have the full defense behind him and the full midfield, we've seen the best of Thiago this season. He is just a player that Liverpool have never had in terms of of course, we bought him when he was arguably up there with, Kevin De Bruyne as being the best midfielder in the world. And the way he unlocks, low block defenses is unbelievable. There's been no other player that I've seen in my lifetime at Liverpool that can do that. But he just has that something special about him. I remember his first game against Chelsea, last year, where everyone was watching him and we were all watching him, and we couldn't take our eyes off of him. And it's still like that now. And the game on the weekend was up there, one of his best games in a Liverpool shirt. And he's had that form, 100%. last year as well. This time, the last 10 games of the season, he was so crucial for Liverpool. And he's going to be the same again this year, with us going for everything.
Yeah, definitely. Dave, you been impressed with Thiago this season?
Yeah, I mean, he just needed a run of games, didn't he? He's had a lot of injuries, an awful lot of injuries. And once I knew he got those run of games, what a quality player. I mean, Spanish international, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. And I mean, he's been there, done it. He's won everything. Unbelievable. Doesn't even guarantee you play tomorrow night, by the way. I mean, Klopp, I have a feeling Henderson comes in for tomorrow night, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, I'd love to see him, of course. I think that's our best midfield, the one we've been starting the last few games, Thiago, Fabinho and Naby. So I'd love to see that against United tomorrow night, but I don't know what Klopp's going to do. But what a player. Just great to have him. Great to have him on the pitch. And he just opens up defenses, sees balls, sees players nobody else sees, sees passes nobody sees. That flick that for Mane's the third goal against City.
Oh,
it reminded me when the five-a-side back in the 90s, different level,
Sophie, what have you made of Thiago since he's come to Liverpool?
I think it's mixed. I think in flashes you can see that obviously he's one of them players who's got the technical ability. I remember watching him a lot like at Bayern Munich and he'd just stand out, like some of the passes that he was playing and whatnot. I think Andrew's made a good point in the chat. I think in a struggling team, I think Thiago struggled, but in a good performing team, I think he kind of is that cherry on top. He plays best when the team's on top. Yeah, and I think Liverpool, obviously, straight out the blocks against Man City, having that positive start to the game. And I think that's probably why you saw the best of him. I think he's one of these players who likes to take a bit of a risk, doesn't he? And obviously, when your team's under the cosh a little bit, then obviously you're struggling to do that. In a similar way, you'd probably say Pogba at United. A lot of people would probably compare it. He's one of these players who got a few tricks under his sleeve and whatnot. But when they're going tough and your back's against the wall, you don't want to see players doing that. They haven't got time to do that in there. So I think with Liverpool, I think it's one of these where you've got to be patient with him. And obviously this season is starting now to come good for you guys. But I do think when the team is playing well, that's when you'll get the best out of him. He's not the type to graft in the middle. He's not known for that, really.
No, definitely not. Reece, would he improve Manchester United's midfield for sure?
He's a player that we wanted in 2014. Funnily enough, like Thiago, I absolutely adore Thiago Alcantara as a football player. In terms of midfield talents across the world, he's one of my favourites. Just unfortunately, he plays for Liverpool. He's a metronome. That's very few players I actually use that term for. In terms midfield players, I would give that to a David Silva or Paul Scholes in prime era, or it's that type of player who they have limitations to their game, but even so, with their limitations, they actually use that as a strength. So Thiago, very true, he is not a grafter. He's not.
Yeah. No.
But what he is really good at is half spaces or cutting in, from the central midfield position. He'll come in deeper, he'll go further forward, and he is very good at finding a player, even in a very difficult situation. He will get there and he will get the ball going. It's no coincidence, the teams he's played for, Bayern Munich, the treble winning season, literally before he left. He has that impact on the team that won the Champions League. Same with Barcelona. A manager like Pep Guardiola, for example, or even though Jurgen Klopp, they wouldn't want a player like Thiago unless there was something that he didn't bring to the team, and he brings a lot of good qualities, like passing ability. He will put a foot in, but he's not a hard type player who's just going to get grafting. He's not like a James Milner for you guys, who's a warrior or someone who you just know just do the hard stuff. You get the ball to him though in tight spaces. He's got the control and he's got the passing ability that he can certainly cause a problem. And for Liverpool, I agree with Dave, etc., where he just needed time, because obviously his injury record at Barcelona was very poor. His injury record at Bayern was poor, but you could see the evidence that when he played, he is a real problem. And I don't think he's much of a Klopp type player in terms of the energy and the pressing. But when he slows a game down, That's a real problem for us. When he slows he will slow. If he does play tomorrow, if he slows the game down, we're in trouble because he will just pickpocket anybody that he wants, and he'll find a player in space, whether it be Jota if he plays or Diaz. Like he will find them comfortably, and we won't cope with that. We won't cope.
Yeah, Thiago has been very, very good in the midfield recently. This is a very good question from Nathan. Liverpool guys, Klopp has reportedly been targeting the following. Are you happy? Jared Bowen, Fabio Ruiz, Rafinha, Ruben Colwill, Carvalho, Jules Koundé, and Cody Gakpo. I'll be honest. Out of them, Cody Gakpo is the one that excites me.
Yeah, Bowen's
Bowen.
He's the most ideal Klopp player.
Look, I think Liverpool will turn him into next level again. Sign up, what it'd be, 40, 50 million, something like that. That's what we do. We don't need players that are right up there. Bring him in 30, 40 million, whatever it is. Go next level. When he has that, he's good. He tracks back. He's got a bit of pace, something different about him. He reminds me similar to Jota as well, but he's different again. And look what we did to Jota. People didn't even hear about him when he played for Wolves. Didn't even know about him. So I think Jared Bowen out of all them, and he knows the Premier League inside out as well. He wants someone that knows the league. I think it makes it easier to. Luis Diaz fit in without knowing anything about it. But anyway, that was just unbelievable. But we might probably talk about him later. But
just another gem from obviously like Klopp. I think it did help though that we did have we did a Porto in the Champions League, but I think we've been scouting Diaz for a number.
I've said to you numerous times over the
years.
past year that I think Bowen's got Liverpool. I've said to you over the past year, I do think Bowen will end up at Liverpool, and I stick by it.
Right, before we get to starting 11s, I do have to ask everyone this. What is your memory of this fixture? So I'll obviously start with Maisy with this one. What is your favourite memory from this fixture?
You've had to put me on the spot here, didn't you? You had to put me in the spot.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I hate going first in these kind of situations. I really hate it.
Do you want me to come back to you?
I'll go first.
Yeah,
go on, Jay. Go on, Jay.
For me, my memory's Wanfield, isn't it? It's got to be.
Second
you know
goal.
what I mean? Come on, yeah. One batter with 2 great goals. Gerrardi's 58 seconds or whatever it was. It was just a great day. And I listen. I know the scoreline's 2-1, but I honestly think that flattered Liverpool. I thought United were outstanding that day, and it still annoys me that Wayne Rooney didn't let Juan Mata take that penalty for his hat-trick. It was just it was a great get. And what was good about that is it was a kind of a bit of surprising performance. Because under Louis van Gaal, we were very up and down. Liverpool, obviously, a very good team. And to go there and put that performance in with that team as well, when I looked at it on paper, I thought this could be a long day at the office. So, yeah, we've not always had our own way at Anfield, obviously, but that was a great day.
I would actually have to argue that's probably the best you've played at Anfield since I can remember, 2015.
I think people forget how good that performance was. I thought we were outstanding that day. I really do. I just thought he got everything right, Van Gaal, and the players turned up. I'm not expecting that tomorrow, by the way.
Okay, Maisy, you've had time to think. I'll come back to you now.
Thank you so much there, Doug. You're so kind. But I think in terms of my favourite memory from a Manchester United point of view, it's going to have to be in 2010 when Berbatov got his hat-trick against Liverpool. I think it was an absolute brilliant game, and especially knowing that you're getting a hat-trick against your rival team, it's such a good memory to have. Because Berbatov, for me, he was, as I would say, quite an underrated player, especially with the squad, what he'd have around him. No one would look at Berbatov and think he is the star man there in that starting 11. He is the star man at Manchester United. But his 3 goals for me was the ones what helped us actually win the game. Because if I remember correctly, Liverpool scored 2. So his hat-trick was the one what helped us get them 3 points. So it has to be Berbatov for me, but the favourite one. But of course, I absolutely love the FA Cup one, the last game where Bruno Fernandes actually scored that free kick in the FA Cup and knocked you out the FA Cup. That was a good memory.
Yeah, we all remember that. We definitely do. That's all right. That's all right. I'm pretty sure the Liverpool ones will bring up some good ones as well. Reece.
Me, okay. There's a fair few for me. One's a funny moment, which is going to like make Liverpool fans sink. But games-wise for me, games-wise, there's a recent one. It was actually, funnily enough, under the Van Gaal era. It was the 3-0 win where Sterling should have scored literally in the first 10 minutes, and then we literally went up the field and put it past. Can't remember who it was. Like, was it Mignolet in goal? Like, we just tore you apart. Like, funnily enough, with Falcao, Van Persie, and Wayne Rooney tearing you a new one. United playing a back three. But that game was like highlight. Obviously, that was just like the fact is like I didn't expect us to get much out of that game, but like the consistency of like Van Gaal, he only lost to Liverpool, I think, once or twice, and that was in the Europa League. It was the league games. He just knew how to get past Liverpool. It was very easy for him. And then, of course, like two moments. Obviously, Raphael squaring up to Carragher is always one of my personal highlights.
Yeah.
And the last highlight for me, just a memory, is of course we didn't even play. It was just capitulation. It was of course Rafa Benitez's facts press conference. Of course,
you had to bring that up
because you were ahead of us in the league comfortably. We had just come back from the Club World Cup, which we won, of course, and you completely capitulated, and we won the league. Boom.
Yeah.
Sophie said those words.
I think most of them have been covered. Instinctively, when you asked the question to Maisy, I thought Wanfield straight away, because that's one where I felt we controlled the game. Like you said there, the goal, the little dink into from Di Maria, and then like Mattis finished it off. Like, yeah, it was just a great game. Also, the sending off for Gerrard, was it 38 seconds he was on the pitch for?
Yeah,
straight
off.
I was loving that.
I gave him too many seconds. You're right, it wasn't that long.
It was 38 minutes, and I remember celebrating that like a goal. I was loving that, like loving every bit of it. But also Martial coming on and scoring on his debut as well when he just dusted past Skirtle. That was an enjoyable one for me as well. And the commentary, like still there. Unfortunately, Martial ain't done a lot since that point, but yeah, that moment alone was just quality. So yeah, there's quite a few. But I think Wanfield, in terms of the whole performance and the result, obviously at Anfield as well. I think that one, and I love Juan Mata as well. Who doesn't? So it was just good to see him scoring the goals.
You can't hate Juan Mata, it has to be said. He's one of the nicest guys in football, and pains me to say it, but that was a fantastic finish. Liverpool, guys, I'll give one straight off the bat. Andrea Dossena chipping Van der Sar at Old Trafford. That was his best week in a Liverpool shirt. Scores against Real Madrid, and then scores against Manchester United. It was probably one of his best weeks as a Liverpool player. And obviously after that, he was pretty poor, it has to be said. Connor, what's your favourite memory from this game?
Prime David Ngog at Anfield in 2010.
I was at that game. I was at that game, yeah.
That and, yeah, the 4-1 at Old Trafford. You know, you could easily say earlier on the season the 5-0, but yeah, 4-1.
Nobody wants to talk about that though. So.
But no, 4-1 away for me, especially in that grey kit as well. And Fernando Torres having Vidic on the deck was just childhood. But yeah, that's how I remember that game.
Jack?
Not many, is there? Yeah, it's got to be Vidic. Like, you've got to, especially how good United were at that time. Practically all United winning every trophy under the sun. But yeah, just the fact that the joy, the slight joy that I had as a kid was Vidic getting terrorised by obviously Torres, and the very early one. Was it Murphy's goal? A very long time ago. I was quite young for that. Was it a 1-0 win? A free kick. Yeah.
Did it a few times, didn't he, Danny Murphy? He scored. I think he scored 3 winners against us, if I can remember. He had a bit of it.
2000 to 2000.
He's a hate him.
In a row.
Yeah.
He's a shit pundit. Shit pundit.
He is a crap pundit.
He's genius level.
Yeah, Dave.
Well, we could all talk about the 5-0, but that's against one of the worst teams in history. So, you know, that's United's worst team ever. So it didn't really, I'm saying it doesn't count.
Considering none of you wanted to talk about the 5-0, you've all mentioned it, which I've been impressed with.
I like just rubbing it in a little bit.
We're not going to talk about the 5-0.
Well, if you want to, okay, let's go. No, look, we go back, 1990. 4-0 at Old Trafford. I think I was a good Beardsley hat-trick, I think it was. Peter Beardsley hat-trick, and John Barnes just ran the fucking show that day. That was just delicious. That was an unbelievable, pure football that was. Obviously, Liverpool were a different team, obviously, back then, but that was the big one for me. Obviously, the Torres destroying Vidic, Gerrard kissing the camera, I think it was, that game at Old Trafford. Look, there's been a few on both teams. We know all about it. But I'd rather be beating a good United team at Old Trafford when they were going for titles than a 5-0 when they were in the dumps. I think it's just a better type of win. So that's why I'm not bringing up the 5-0 again.
I like how you've mentioned the 90 final, like the 90 game, sorry, when it's already been mentioned 5 or 6 times in the live chat already. Like, it's a pain already. But then again, you could always wear a white suits at Wembley and get beat in the last minute.
Oh, bloody hell.
Me worst was O'Shea, that last minute. O'Shea.
That was ultimately the goal that won them the league. It was definitely that game. But we haven't mentioned the 5-0, but I didn't really want to bring it back because it was
What about Gary Neville celebrating in front of the cop end?
Yeah, that wasn't nice. That wasn't nice.
Him and Carragher are best mates. Who would have thought it?
I know. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? But we do need to get into team selections now. So, try that again. Right, we will go down the way. So we saw Manchester United. Sophie, what would your team be tomorrow?
I think I'll go with 1 in goal and then 10 in a line just in front of De Gea. If it was my choice, just to try and keep a clean sheet. With the players that I rate, to be fair, I think we'll go De Gea in goal. Wan-Bissaka right back, even though both of them for me are as bad as each other at right back. I think we desperately need a right back in the summer. Maguire, Lindelof. Is Luke Shaw still out, or is he back?
He's out for the rest of the season.
He's still out. He's still out, because he had screws out, didn't he? Yeah.
He's
So
going to be out for
obviously
the
Tellez
remainder
then.
of the season.
I know Tellez has said a few quotes as well, so we'll be starting Tellez. Again, not really convinced. I don't know about your guys' thoughts on that, but Tellez.
Yeah.
I believe Fred's back, isn't he? So I'll probably match Fred, Bruno, Sancho. Obviously, Ronaldo is a question mark now as to what's going to happen. I'm still going to say Elanga, and I'm going to err it on the side of caution and probably say Rashford will start up top. I don't think Ronaldo will be there. Cavani obviously isn't there as well. So, yeah. You see my enthusiasm in my voice as I said that team then. Yeah, but that's the team.
I know.
When you're having a poor season, it's very hard to pick a starting 11.
That's what I mean. Like, they're all as bad as each other in my eyes. It's just like, do you know what I mean? Like, right back, Delo or Wan-Bissaka, and I'm thinking either one of them could start, and either one of them I'd be feeling. I'd have exactly the same reaction either way, I think. So,
doesn't matter.
Sadly, that's where we're at.
Doesn't matter who plays it right back; they're getting killed.
Yeah, Reece, would you agree with Sophie's team?
Pretty much. My lineup would be De Gea and De Gea. Like that's. In all honesty, I still think Fred McTominay are still out, so we're still stretched. So my lineup.
Is he still out? I thought he was back.
He's still out, yeah. So
I think he said he's out. I wasn't sure. I know
McTominay was.
Yeah. To be fair, McTominay's always out anyway because McTominay.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, De Gea, Wan-Bissaka.
Probably come in mine then.
We're doomed. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Bailly, Tellez. I hate our fullbacks, to be honest. Matic, he's the only player in that midfield I'd start. Lingard, for his pressing ability. I wouldn't play Pogba after what he'd done in the box against Norwich. To hell with him. Bruno in midfield. I'd play Sancho, Elanga, and I'd have to agree Rashford up front because Ronaldo's not going to be there.
With Ronaldo not there, do you think that might be one of the under-23s that get called up?
I wouldn't mind. You could
not start necessarily, but
I wouldn't mind Garnacho playing on the right hand side. And you push Elanga in the middle, then you play Sancho on the left. I wouldn't mind that, but I doubt we're going to see. I think it's just going to be a lot of experience, and well, they claim to be experienced players, but they don't know what Man United is. So yeah, like I don't care who plays tomorrow. Like I don't drink, but I'm very tempted.
Yeah, I know Sophie has to go. So I will ask you this, Sophie. What is your score prediction for tomorrow?
5-0 to United. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. You know what? I'm not going to be super positive, but I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. We can't keep a clean sheet, but I'm just hoping that we show a bit of pride tomorrow, show a bit of passion and a bit of fight, and we can get a draw. So I'll take that, to be fair. So yeah, 2-2 is my prediction.
Sophie, it's been an absolute pleasure to get you back on. And hopefully, me and you will do a post-match at some point as well.
Definitely, Doug. I'll drop you a message. And nice to meet everybody, obviously, in the chat.
Nice
I spoke to before. And yeah, take care, everyone. Hopefully, it'll be a good result for United fans tomorrow. Fingers crossed, yeah. But I'll speak to you all soon. Take care, everyone.
Cheers, Sophie. Cheers. See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later. So, Maisy and Jay, do you see any changes to what Reece has said, or do you think that will be the lineup?
I think because of the options we're lacking, I think Matic has got to start. He's the only sort of midfielder who's available. There's a temptation he goes like 3 at the back, but then again, I don't know. He was available to go alongside Lindelof and Maguire, maybe Bailly. So I think he'll go with the defenders that have been mentioned because of the lack of options. So it's just who's the best of a bad bunch, really, isn't it? So I'm going to go with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Telles. I'll go Matic. I like what Reece said about maybe Lingard for his energy and his pressing in there in the midfield. I didn't think he was that bad against Norwich. So I was a little bit surprised he got took off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
I just wonder, I know this is like who would I like to see, but I just wonder whether Rangnick might feel to put Pogba in because of what's happened, because he kind of stuck up for him a little bit after the game. And he might feel like, you know what, he's had a bit of grief. I'm going to chuck him back in to try and, sort of back him kind of thing. But if it was the case that Lindelof came in and Bruno, I think, has got to start, I don't expect Ronaldo to start, and nor should he after what he's been through. So I'd go with Rashford up top. My only reservation about throwing a youngster in is it could be like a baptism of fire for him. Yeah. It could be like, you could be, putting a kid in there who's watching a 4 or 5-0 hammering. It's not fair on him. Yeah. So these lot got us into this mess. They can get us out of it. So I'd put on the either side of Rashford, Alanga's probably going to start. I like Alanga as well because I think he can drop back and give a bit of cover to the fullback, which we're going to need 100%. And Jadon Sancho on the other side as well.
He's half decent right back for about 5 minutes as well.
Yeah, he's he's going to have to maybe, whichever side he's on, maybe might even play him on the left hand side and get him to double up on. Sorry, on the right. Yeah, be on the left hand side. Wanted to deal with Salah. I mean, it doesn't matter really because Sadio Mane is hardly an easy day at the office, is it? So, but I think Salah in particular, especially after what he did to us at Old Trafford.
Yeah,
that is very, very true. Maisy, would you agree with that?
There's a couple of things I would change. I actually think it's going to be Dalot who will start because I think Dalot is the more preferred right back. Best, well, probably in Ralph's eyes, best out of a bad bunch. I don't like either right back. I've made my feelings very known about Dalot for quite a long time. I wanted him so before the season even started. But yeah, I think Dalot will be there. I think De Gea remains where he is. Maguire, Lindelof stays. So does Telles, got no other choice. I think Matic will come in because we need Matic there. Bit of a rock there in the defence. I mean, next to the defence, sorry. And in the midfield, I think Pogba and Bruno will be both alongside him. I actually think, though, Rashford won't play. I think he'll come on as a substitute, and I think Lingard will be on the right-hand side because we know Lingard can play on the right, and that little bit of a pressing ability might be a little bit effective. And if him and Sancho switch it round a little bit, it might help in terms of Trent Alexander-Arnold, because I know I touched on a little bit on the show beforehand that I think in terms of the defence, Trent Alexander-Arnold is the weaker link in the back four for Liverpool. So I think we need to give that little bit of switch around, just see what we can do there. Sancho stays on the left for me, and I think he'll play Alanga up front because Alanga can play on the left and up front. He can play on the wings. So I would rather have Alanga, who is more experienced, up front there rather than Rashford, who I don't particularly like playing up front. I haven't seen Sancho play up front anyway, so I'd rather not take any risks and then put Alanga there.
I wonder if he'll play. I was just thinking, I wonder if he'll do what he always does. Will he go 4-2-2 and play Bruno and Lingard as two?
I can't do 4-2-2.
No, me
I can't
neither.
do it.
But I wouldn't. Me neither. Me neither.
Oh
No, I
no.
agree, but like me neither. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him actually do that. Like he's 4-2-2, and he plays like say a Langard or Lingard as one of the white players, and he has Fernandes out there, and he plays two up top. I wouldn't be surprised about that either. That's all I was going to say on that one.
I will come to the Liverpool guys now because there was a good question from Ravi. And I'll ask Connor this question: is Bobby better off the bench these days?
No, like it doesn't matter who's on the bench, who's starting for Liverpool. The thing is, Liverpool have that much great quality now that can be on the bench and start games. We've seen that Bobby Firmino, he plays in crucial games. This will be one of them. Of course, but no. I think let Bobby. I think Bobby's good enough to start and be on the bench.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. So I'm going to say this would be my lineup, and if anyone wants to come in, Jack, Dave, or Connor, you let me know. So this would be my team. I don't think you should change the winning side. That is my honest opinion. So I'm going Ali, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Thiago, Keita, Diaz, Mane, Salah.
I think Matip might come back in. I just think Matip. Yeah, I think Matip might come in for Konate. He might make 2 or 3 changes. I think Hendo could come back in the middle, and even Jota could start up front. I mean, we've just got to use our players now. It's rare you go to the exact same team again. We just saw many bloody. This is like a cup final for us, guys. We've got to win the game. We can't even draw games anymore. That's gone out the window. We have to win the game. It is United. I think this game's going to be a lot tighter than what people think. I really do. I think there's only going to be a goal in it, guys. And I think it's only going to be something like 2-1 to Liverpool. There's not going to be much in it. I know people are going 4-5-0. I'd love it to be. But I'm just being realistic about it. It's a big game. It's under lights. It's at Anfield. It's going to be tension involved in this game. If United are anything and Rangnick has them up, and Ten Hag is coming in the background here, probably watch it on television, they're going to need some sort of reaction. And I'll expect United to show up tomorrow. I think Liverpool are the better team, and we'll win the game, but I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be a 2-1 tomorrow night.
something
Jack?
in the back of my mind is Costas potentially coming in for Robbo. I know he's been.
I wouldn't be against that. I would not be against that. I think Costas, since he's come in the team, I think he has been excellent. He has been very, very good. And again, he needed to blend into with the squad as well. He needed time to blend in. So I would not be against that at all.
And Jota possibly as well, especially getting in and around Maguire, Lindelof, especially the space that will be open. We've already spoken about Maguire, but I think technically Jota's a lot more intelligent in and around the 6-yard box. A game is not for Bobby. Bobby obviously likes the ball to his feet, bringing players into this. But I can foresee Mane switching for me on the left, and then Jota through the middle with Salah on the right.
Right, is that time now? Excuse me. Is that time again now? Match predictions. So I'll go with the United crew first. Jay, what's your prediction for this game?
I mean, my head's saying it could be a cricket score to you lot, unfortunately. But I just feel if we don't concede early, we've got a fighting chance. I think if we get you get an early goal, it could be horrible because the crowd will be up for it. We'll capitulate, and it could be another sort of good hiding. But I think if we can just sort of keep it competitive for half an hour, maybe get Liverpool a little bit nervy because, like other people have said, you need a win because City aren't dropping any points. Then we've got a fighting chance. So, listen, I'm not going to come on a Liverpool podcast and start saying we're not going to beat you. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 United. But that's my heart, not my head. Believe me.
That is very, very optimistic. But yep, I can totally say it. Reece?
For me, I do agree with Jay's mindset there. I do agree. I think United need longer than 30 minutes. I think United need at least, if they want to get something, it has to be 60, 70 minutes, 0-0. But I very, very rarely see Liverpool go 0-0 that length of time. I don't think we will. I think we will probably concede within the first 15 minutes. We just don't have the... We're just not even switched on at the back, even let alone the front. Like I looked earlier on, like our structure is like a dodgeball team, our defense is like a fucking dodgeball team. Like, you just take out Maguire and then that's it, game over. So,
Yeah.
but although to be fair, he wasn't as bad as Dalot and Tellez in terms of defense for the goals at the weekend. But I want us to get something. I really don't. I very rarely predict United to get beat, but I'm sticking with like the scoreline I've said the past couple of streams I've been on, and it makes me ill to say it, but I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. I don't think we're getting anything really. I very rarely predict United to get beat, but if we get a draw, great. That will end Liverpool's season, like for winning the league, in my opinion. If it's us that does it, I'm feeling it'd be funny, but I have to be honest for once. I have to put the head over the heart, and I very rarely do that. So yeah, unfortunately, pains me to say it. 2-1 Liverpool.
So I'll tell you what, if we got a draw, I'd celebrate that like it was the '99 final. Honestly, I'd have a parade if we got a draw tomorrow.
I was on a stream last night, and a friend of mine, and I said for a laugh, if we draw with Liverpool at Anfield, I will celebrate like I did when Scotland drew with England at Wembley. I will gladly do it, shameless as fuck. I'll do it. I don't care.
Maisy?
It's a hard one, to be honest. I agree with both what Jay and Reece has said. I think if we concede early, and especially if Jota starts, because he's actually the person who I threat the most in this Liverpool side, if he has a sniff on the ball, Salah has a sniff on the ball early, done for. We are absolutely done for. We'll lose our heads. And I've said this as well. We got battered off Manchester City 4-1. And I actually think Liverpool's attacking threat is a lot stronger for me, in my opinion, over Manchester City's. The chemistry is a lot better compared to Manchester City. So if we concede early, I actually think it's going to be easily 6, even 7-0 maybe. But that's how bad I think it is. That's how bad I think it's going to be.
Shows where we're at, doesn't it?
I think we'll get slaughtered. Only a couple months ago, when I do shows with Sophie, and I always say, I refuse to bet against my team. I refuse to do this. I refuse this. And now it's like, yeah, we're going to get battered. That is actually how I'm feeling right now. But
I can't argue with you, mate.
It's that pain where you just cannot go.
It's the hope that kills you, isn't it?
Yeah, but if, for example, though, we do what we should have done with Atletico Madrid's second leg, and we actually hold out a draw until the second half, and then we score, and then Liverpool scores, I think it'll be 1-1. I think it'll come out with a draw. And if it come out with a draw, I'll be happy. But it can go either way. It could be either very messy, or I can just celebrate to the point where I am going to be doing my karaoke in my bedroom at 12 o'clock at night with my hair singing. It's just going to be one of them kind of days for me. But if any Man United fans are in the chat, get your blindfold ready just in case if you're at the game or if you're on the TV, watching the TV. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty.
I don't drink on 20.
Dave?
Well, as I said earlier, I think this is going to be a squeaky bum game, as Alex Ferguson would say. I mean, I think it's going to be tight. I really do. I think Liverpool will win it, but it won't be as convincing as you think. I just think it's coming to this end of the season where performances don't really matter. It's results that matter, especially for Liverpool. We just got to win the bloody game any which way. And United used to do this in their pomp as well. It's about getting over the line. It's about winning the game and then saying to City, right, you play Brighton, see what happens. So I just think if Liverpool turn up tomorrow night and United don't turn up, we could have a different story. But I think United will turn up tomorrow night, whatever players are available for them. But I expect Liverpool to win, as I say. It'll only be tight, though. I think it'll be 2-1. I really do expect. It's always a tight game against United. I'm always either hiding under the bed or doing something, even with a great Liverpool side, because that's the one team I do not want to lose against.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to not go down the 4-5-6 routes because I don't think it's going to be that. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. I think that's probably respectable. I just don't see United scoring, unfortunately. I just don't, but might be proved wrong, of course. Connor, what's your prediction?
Well, I think if United do turn up, I think, Dave's said it correctly there. If United do show up, then it will be a difficult game. But in saying that, I think if Liverpool turn out like we did in that first half of the FA Cup on the weekend, there'll be no chance for this Manchester United side whatsoever. I'm not saying it'll be 4-5-6, but I think Liverpool will take control of the game. And I think I'm going with you, Doug. I think 3-0 to Liverpool. I think we'll try and control the game. We'll try, I think, end it early so we can rest. Similar to what we did in the second half against City. But yeah, I'm going Liverpool 3-0.
Excellent. And finally, Jack?
If we are, it depends how United apply themselves. And similar to us, I'm going to go 5-0, but we need to start the game in the right manner. I know Liverpool have done that over the years, but as Dave alluded to, every single game till now, at the end of May, is a Champions League final. We need to win it. We need to. But I'm going to go 5-0. But funny things have happened in football, haven't they? And we all know them games.
We
yeah.
We haven't actually done the double over Man United since the 13-14 season. So it's been a long time since we've actually done the double over United. But whatever happens, it's going to be an absolutely fascinating game. I just want to say an absolutely massive thank you to you all for coming on tonight. I have absolutely enjoyed this. It has been 1 hour 15 minutes, and it is absolutely flown by. Connor, thank you very much for coming on, my friend. Tell where people can find you.
Well, yeah, first of all, thank you for having us on. It's been a great show. We've managed to go through a United therapy session. It's been good sharing. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, thank you for having me on, mate. And yeah, the Cop Council, YouTube, Twitter, and all that good stuff. But yeah, thank you for having me on.
Jack, thank you very much for coming on as well. Where can people find you?
Yeah, very welcome, mate. Thank you for having me. Great to speak to Jay and so for the first time, and obviously Maisy, who has done a show before. But Jack Mack LFC on all socials. Everyone enjoy the game tomorrow, regardless. We just want hopefully a good game of footy. And thank you for having me.
And Jay, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. It's been a lifetime. This as I've had you on the channel. But where can people find you?
No, thanks for that. To be honest with you, this has been relatively painless. You've gone easy on us today. I've been quite impressed, to be honest. So I thought it'd be a lot worse than that. Yeah, you know where to find me. I'll be over on Stretford Paddock, but if it does go the way that Maisy said it might, you won't see me on any socials or any videos or anything ever again, to be honest with you. I'll be living like I'm Amish and just going off the grid completely for a little while. So yeah, don't bank on me being around after tomorrow.
but big thank you. Yeah, guys, please go and check out Stretford Paddock, doing some fantastic stuff over there as well. Reece,
just to plug as well, sorry, we have got Jermaine Pennant on there, a video with him as well for any Liverpool fans. He's quite good stuff on there. We just posted a video there the other day where we had a sit down with him chatting about this game and other stuff as well. So Liverpool fans might want to check that out.
Do you know what? After this video, I will put that video in the description and people can go over and
you'll see all the comments of United fans kicking off because we had him on. Loads of United fans going, why have you got him on? This channel's in the doghouse. What's going on here? Is this a Liverpool channel? But he was good stuff.
Oh, excellent. Reece, thank you as always. Where can people find you?
Well, me and you have done the double, but just remember we're doing a hat trick because I've got one of you again very shortly as well. Anyway, so that's quality. Literally right there, Devils Rising on YouTube and Twitter. You can also find me on the Weekly Armchair Sports Talk, where I done for any Liverpool fans or any Irish fans. Dave, you won from this one. I done a sit down with Jack Doherty, plays for Wexford, yesterday. An hour and 20 minutes. It was quality. He didn't tear into me either. He's a Liverpool fan. He was actually quite kind on that sense. He didn't rip me a new one. But that was a good laugh. And also you can find me on Doug's channel on a Monday night, Doug Football channel on the World of Football podcast. But it's just been a good laugh. Chatting to like-minded folk. Obviously, spoken to Jay once 2 years ago, so it's good to finally get back on with him. Although to be fair, he is better than Fellaini. I'm getting killed for that comment later, because Jay knows. But hey ho, what can I say? It's a good laugh, like-minded people, and I'm surprised Connor didn't do much.
I don't
quite tame, man.
I don't need to. It's just all the pains all over the faces, so I don't need to add to the hurt and the pain and the suffering.
Don't say too much, Connor. Wait until the game's over.
Yeah, he's going easy on us because we're that bad. It says it all. It's like the David Moyes era all over again.
Maisy, thank you very, very much for coming on. I mean, obviously, I've done your show. You've done mine. We're obviously going over to Mr. Jack Mack very soon as well. But where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, which is Devils United, Manchester United content for both the men and the women's football, so you can catch me through there. And thank you so much, Doug, for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm surprised you, Jack, and Reece and sick of me. See my face twice today. You're going to see my face 3 times in a row. I hope you're not going to be sick of me after today, though.
No, we never get sick of anybody on this channel. No, it's been fantastic. And last but not least, Mr. Dave from Dave's LFC Chats, thank you very, very much. We need to get you on more and more, my friend. You are very, very funny.
Thanks very much. I'm a stand-up comedian. Look, Dave's LFC Chats, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and you will find me tomorrow night underneath the bed if we don't get the result that I want. I'm telling you, those United fans in work will not let it down, and it's just ridiculous. They're even slagging me at the moment. How can they even have the audacity to slag me as I'm walking into work? United fans
slagging you? Slagging you? That's shocking. That is shocking. But no, guys,
because by the end of the season, it's going to be a lot worse. So now's the time when we can maybe get a few things in before.
If you win the treble, I'm finding a cave.
The keyword
plenty in Scotland.
Quadruple, baby.
That's it. That's what I mean.
I haven't even thought about the quad, if I'm being honest. But guys, thank you very, very much for coming on. Guys in the chat, I know we've not really got through many comments tonight, but I just want to say thank you very much for the fantastic comments. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and go and subscribe to everybody's channel: the Cup Council, Jack Mac LFC, Stretford Paddock, the Weekly Armchair, Devils United, and of course Dave's LFC Chats. But let's hope for a fantastic occasion tomorrow from the Magnificent Seven. Hey, it is goodbye, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.